I came up yesterday to try and get past this little problem of ours. See, I forgot about whips. Granted, I mean, I guess it's less forgot and more just wasn't really considering whips at the moment. But yeah, our avoidance is already pretty high. Our defense is acceptable. Thanks to the level difference, we can sort of get away with some stuff. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and give this a try. See, the thing is, worst case scenario, I can probably get the rogue up a few levels, maybe boost their hitting power slightly. But the thing is, the whip is ridiculously light. Like, compared to the sword and shield combo from before, it's way, way, way lighter. But like I was saying earlier, it's one of the few that has a damage scaling finisher that's also super light. So not only are we down to essentially down to one weapon set instead of some in each hand here, but for another, we should be able to put out a almost comical amount of damage here. So, oh, one sec. Alrighty, and back. So, generally speaking here, I'm thinking, if all lines up correctly, this is probably still going to come down to RNG, but what I'm thinking is the extra speed gain from the thing would probably allow for out-healing any extra damage that we end up taking, but at any given moment, if we can create a similar situation to last time, I should be able to just throw down some traps, run in with the Armageddon, and then just basically wipe half their party in one move. So I would figure it's probably going to be the best way to go. Now, the way to really boost this is actually just to go get the elemental books, or go get the elemental chokers. Sorry. At the moment, it's a little bit of a ways to go get those, and I mean, we should be okay to go get them. I don't think there's anything really in our way. We'd have to finish clearing out the forts. After that, we'd have to... let's go ahead and put on the city. Oh, I forgot to get strengthens. That's what I forgot here. You know what? Actually, do I have cards for that? There we go. And then we'll put on the warp later if we need to. We should be fine one way or another. Yeah, if he had crit there, that would have been very, very helpful. But it's fine. As long as he's still holding up, we can still do this. Alright, so he's going to go take a shot. Unfortunately, those have almost no chance of missing right now. It's funny, even with the heavy warbows, just archers don't miss that often in this late in the game. Because, to be fair, I guess most of them are running around being professionals and whatnot. Get your full heals out of here. But yeah, if nothing else, an Armageddon should fix a lot of our immediate issues. Not to mention, if it ends up giving false strike to a lot of their melee units, that's even better. So, it can work. It's basically just going to come down to Aslison's RNG, to be honest. And just where they all decide to move in general. Like, right now, he's moving far away from me. There really ain't too much that I can realistically do. Just kind of sitting here waiting. That's fine. That's all well and good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure even with the ability to warp here, it's not going to make too big of a difference here. Yeah, we're still more or less stuck in the same spot here. But we can do... You know, we can do a booby trap at least. Yes, let's go ahead and drop a charm trap right there, and go ahead and give him our back. Alright, so far so decent. I mean, at least he's getting a little bit closer. With any luck, we'll be able to warp right next to him, but I forget if I have... I don't think I have Siege on this guy. I don't think I can, even. So we'll more than likely have a problem there. And this is actually where the flight boots and things like that come in. Because generally speaking, having some evasion leggings is pretty useful. They're functionally speaking pretty similar to evasion leggings, just a little bit worse, and they give you the ability to fly. You can still get some better accessories elsewhere, though. You know, I've never actually seen the call-out for that one, and man, that is a weird one. This is the Art of War? They're smacking him with the whip a bunch of times. That's just weird. Alright, hopefully he survives this next round. Suppose we'll see. Ah. Yeah, there's just a lot of RNG involved in this, unfortunately. As one would expect, so we'll just go ahead and speed it up for now. Put it back to normal speed in a little while here. Either way, lots of false strikes going out, and I wish they'd stop hitting crits through 40%. Yeah, lots of false strikes. Still going good in that regard. Alright, Asleston, please move. Ah, this would have been such a nice move right here. Yeah, I could wipe that guy, I could wipe that guy, I could wipe that one, and that one. Actually, you know what? I still can, now that I think about it. In fact... Let's see. Almost. Dead. Dead. Almost. Dead. It's risky, but screw it, let's give it a try. Alright, all down to RNG at this point. Ah. Okay, no, but this method can work. That's the farthest we've gotten so far. It just comes down to them not critting so many times. I think we can do it. Alright, we'll go ahead and do the speed up here. So yeah, I think if we protect him with traps, there's no way we can give him the best stuff, but if we protect him with traps, just yeah, we probably take a diagonal, put a trap right next to him, Hopefully disable one of the ones nearby him, maybe go for some of the petrify traps, go for the big old boomy moves. Should be able to make some progress. Alright, we can go ahead and warp our butt down here. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and put a sleep trap right here if anybody decides to come and attack us. If he'd go ahead and crit and take out that healer, though, it seems like taking this route, he's pretty consistently getting that second hit off on her. And if he were to crit her, then this fight would be so much easier. There we go. Stick himself out. Okay, so far so good. I don't know why you bother having a percent if you're never going to roll it. Alright, let's go ahead and put a charm trap right over here. Let's go ahead and... That's fine. Okay, I mean, a bit of a waste of his finisher, but that's fine. So the healer's gone. All we gotta do is wipe their team now. Which we should have the health to do, ideally. This is far from impossible. Okay, that certainly didn't help matters. But at least he's charmed now. They're probably going to waste a turn on Awakens after that. Or, optionally, let's see if we can do a mass wipe. Okay, dead, dead. Almost, 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 almost. Or if I warp it on over hereabouts. Nah, that won't be as good as right here. I mean, if we're just getting a bunch of almosts... Nah, you know, it's fine. If nothing else, it puts them on the back foot, because a lot of times when their health is that low, they're just going to take a bunch of turns to go and heal themselves with crappy items. As long as it cuts down their offense. Oh my god, man, really? There's 2 units you could have finished off right next to you, and you're like, no, let me slap the one at full health. Great idea. Wonderful plan. 10 out of 10. Alright, so Whip Lady will probably finish herself off. Alright, we have another charm trap here. We can probably drop it right there. So far, so decent. The Wizard's the only one that can threaten him right now. Well, and the Warlock, I suppose. Alright, please stop hitting those 55s! Come on, man! How often can you roll that? Okay, yeah, Whip's gone. We might get finished off by a caster here. Oh, that's such a strong move, though. Yeah, almost, almost, almost. No, but he's charmed right now, so I probably don't want to do that anyway. If I go for Flagellation, it'll get rid of that guy entirely. Alright, might be able to actually title bore the guy. Except I can't... Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a heal and put down a trap. Right, somehow missed, thankfully. Good. Very good. Not so good. Yeah, I don't think he can win this on his own, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt, I suppose. This is still the farthest that it's ever gotten so far. I think it's doable. I think this is the way to do it. Alright, first of all, we need to settle more stuff. I know, what a shock. We'll get rid of the Cestus. Probably get rid of the SS. And then we'll go ahead and buy 2 strengthens out of that. Or just 1, I suppose. Now, what else can we possibly... Lowers resistance, lowers avoidance, but that is a lot of luck. And we might need a lot of luck. We'll go ahead and do avoidance. And yeah, I know this overworld map is... Yeah, it really hurts with speed up on. Stop rolling 55s. Yes, it's technically slightly more possible than not. Alright. Speed Star would be good. But I want to slow these guys down, so there we go. As long as he takes that left path, stuff's alright. Slowed is good. I'm not sure why it specifically mentions what element it does. Truth be told, it shouldn't actually matter. I mean, it's a locked percentage of damage anyway. Unfortunately, they landed their poison this time around. Alright, let's put on Speed Star, see about taking out the casters. He can handle the physical stuff just fine. Just all these dang casters that are a problem. I'm pretty sure this one's already a wash, but you know, we'll figure it out. Decent. I don't have a strengthen on right now. Alright, let's take a salve. Probably take one of these tiles right here, but it would be... Throw that right there. She's going to be busy healing herself. That's perfectly fine. Thank you, 55%. Thank you, 50%. Alright. Attempt 3. Let's do this again. This time I'm going to strengthen at the start. Thank you, every 40% in a row hitting. And 25%. Do you guys even miss anymore? Thank you. Yeah, I hope whenever this fight's redone, that he ends up being given, What's wrong? Why are you... No, no, no. Why are you taking that apart? Uh-uh. Yeah, you made a mess with it. Why'd you do that? Yeah, I know, but why'd you take it apart? That's not how you get out the train. Hang on, one quick moment here. Alright, you know, I feel like this fight would be easily fixed with one thing. If he had one rank higher of swords. Then he could do, actually, no, he would need 6 for that, never mind. But I was gonna say, if he had access to, what the hell is that pedal move? I always forget. The AoE sleep move would be really handy. I mean, he does the job well enough. I think he mentioned that he might come in with a what the hell is this dickery? Okay, never mind. Let's do this again. I'm assuming he nailed like some 5% Storm Spark because of course he did. But anyway. Okay, let's do this thing. So, go ahead and go over here. Go ahead and turn on our strong having. Hopefully we end up getting shot with something at some point. Alright, good. Good, that's already mitigated a lot of damage there. Because for some reason that Swordmaster seems to almost... Like, he does not seem to give a crap about what his hit percentage is. Seems like he hits almost every time. But yeah, I think Rakes mentioned at some point that he intended to have him come in with a gunblade. Which, I don't even know if that would necessarily help in this case. It's just kind of neat, I suppose. Alright. Get our speed star up. So we need to be running more of that. And as long as there's stuff injured, the Swordmaster stops attacking, so perfect there. Need to get rid of those casters. Thank you for rolling yet another 40%. Okay. As long as we have a strengthen up here, we might as well run down this direction. Start putting more pressure on this healer. Put down a Probably a charm trap right hereabouts. Because yeah, won't do anything against those guys. There is a possibility to get attacked by that knight or that dragon, though. I think the dragon would probably be the best. It's probably built up a little bit of TP at this point. So having it use some of its abilities on them would be very, very nice, especially if it did a Delirium Haze on their casters, but we'll see. Alright, so we got Armageddon right here, and it should actually wreck this knight a lot more than it's saying right now. Actually, wait a minute. Why didn't I... Dead. Almost dead. You know what? That's a way better option. Let's do that! Perfect. Yeah, if you're wondering why that does so much, it's getting that weird boost that you get out of the elemental bonus. On top of the fact that Strengthen is scaling it up by another 20%, so it's basically 25% higher, which is somehow translating to like 100 extra damage. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but oh well. But yeah, then TP is scaling it up super high as well. So if you get it all the way up to 275, you can throw out like friggin' 2,000 plus no trouble. Let's go ahead and throw a Charm Trap right there. It's probably the most likely to succeed. Try to get False Strike on that one. I'd like to see that dragon gone. Alright, double 40%, triple 40%, plus a 50% for good measure. My, oh my. XCOM needs its RNG back. And yeah, they're just kind of avoiding everything here. Come on, give me my Armageddon. Come on, man! What is the point of your super light build if you're getting outsped by everything? Okay, come on. That would have been so perfect! That would have basically been a win right there. Because Armageddon right there would have finished off the dragon, would have finished off the Dragon Tamer, would have more than likely finished off everybody else because he had a pretty much full bar. This can work. It's just down to luck. And 50% is not rolling every frickin' time. I think I might actually, for the next attempt, if this fails, I think I'm probably just going to go give it a couple back and forths, just to make sure we're not landing on some super unlucky day or some crap. Okay, let's see, what's his day like? Don't expect too much. Day like any other. Either way, 5 out of, like, 12. Yeah, 25%. Like, it seriously feels like they're just nailing everything. Come on! Just every single dang attack is landing with no trouble whatsoever. I mean, there's even the accuracy debuff from the rain. That's why a lot of them are so low. Really? So that's 25%, 40, 40, 25, 55, 55. With only one of those that missed. Alright then. Thank you, game. This is very nice of you today. Greatly appreciate. Oh wait, make that the 2 all of a sudden. So, you know, 20% of 55% miss. That's a fantastic statistic right there. Apparently I can't pronounce words now. Alright. Go up. Can't quite heal him. Probably screwed here. Drop Charm Trap. Try to insta-crit that ninja with no luck. Good. Alright, so far so workable. Actually, who am I kidding? No, this one's totally screwed. There's a very small chance we could pull off something here, but it would require ridiculous luck from here on out. Okay, the dragon just took care of itself. I think that's the end right there. No, not quite, but getting close. I might be saying, why don't I go up and heal him right now? I can't. It is not an option. Charmed. Alright, Distraction Project worked pretty well. Problem is that he took no physical hits, so I can't actually help him. Because items count as a physical hit. For some reason. Okay, dead, 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 dead. See, we can do really cool crap like that, but doesn't necessarily help that much. Right, come on, hit me instead. Rude. God dang it! It's so close. Oh, man, that would have been the one, too. 2 times in a row now. That would have 100% been the one if they just... if they stopped landing friggin' 40-50% constantly. Them odds are low for a reason. Right. Let's see what happens. I almost want to rename this this particular look for him as like Royal Navy denim or something. Now that I think about it, it's weirdly fitting. Ooh. They're actually missing? What? This happens? And he got hit by a stagger, so that sucks. But hey, you know what? It's better than before. Alright. Now we get our warp ring. Get down that building. I seriously have no idea how... Like, bear in mind, this is taking half the time it did on vanilla, practically speaking. Okay, put that right there, because they're gonna have to... They won't be able to get rid of it as easily. Or actually, they'll be able to get rid of it pretty easily, which should distract their knight from attacking. But yeah, bear in mind, in vanilla, everyone had 1 less tile of movement. So basically, anyone that had access to Swiftfoot 1 just automatically has it in the mod. Whereas, yeah, in vanilla, like, this guy's movement would have been 4, I believe, instead of 6. Or instead of 5, sorry. That's why a lot of units were barely able to move, and you ended up almost needing Swiftfoot, because, again, their movement range was trash. But yeah. It's just kind of weird to think about. Okay. If we do an Armageddon here, dead, heavily injured, heavily injured. Yeah, I think if I just go for flagellation from over here. Ooh! Thank you, level 1 alts. Appreciate it. So, welcome, raidy folks, to the solo run. Hope all's going well on your neck of the woods there. Currently just about at the point of hopefully finally saving Asleston here, who has been a severe pain in the everywhere to actually get out of his little predicament here. Because some folks decided to take their squad plus a dragon all the way across to the other end of their island here in order to go get information from a drunk guy that they probably already know. I don't really know what they're doing here. Like, they vaguely explain it. Holy crap. Yeah, this might be the one. This might be the one. Come on, give me my turn. Give me my turn and this whole group dies. Come on. Come on. Oh, sweet goodness. This is what we call a checkmate moment right here. Dead, 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 dead. Dead, dead. Yeah. And delete. Beautiful. Okay, now we just go pressure this guy so we can't go attack their caster, or can't go attack Asleston. Because we should be able to just reflect that stuff, more or less. He's going to go pressure their healer. And a miss. Oh my goodness. You know what? I appreciate that raid thing, because it seems to have finally turned around our luck in this run. Alright, we're going to put down a booby trap here for... do I have an apostate? Yes, I do. You can go ahead and target me if they want. It's just going to bounce off. So yeah, apostate basically makes you immune to one magic attack. Almost dead. Speed star. How do you keep up with it so fast? Years and years of experience, I suppose. No! Okay, okay, okay. Come on, survive. Survive, you dick! But yeah, I sped it up because it... Like, here, let's just put it down to normal speed, because it's a real heck of a thing to, well... Let's just say this fight has been going on for a hot minute. Okay, unfortunate crit. Going for the Melta here. If it ends up landing... Yeah, that's not great, but it's workable. Like, at this point, I'd say that this is pretty well survivable. Okay, they're going to go for that. If I can get my turn, we can remove their healing entirely. I believe I have a card that allows me to heal here. What's the one goal? The one goal is finishing off the kind of hidden last boss, and doing so using the secret ending there. So basically, at the very end of the game, you have the option to more or less screw with time and go back into the intro and fight the guy that... Like, you know how you have the obligatory RPG intro of, like, everyone came in and they slaughtered your family and parents and all that kind of stuff? Well, basically, they got that here, too, except in this case, you can go back in time and, well, you more or less can go back and fight the guy. It's actually funny because he's the protagonist of probably my favorite game of the series, but whatever. And this one, he's a little bit of a douche, so we just go ahead and deal with him. So we've already got, we've still got Apostate here. I am going to turn on Ivory Tower, because they're probably going to throw out some finishing moves next round, I believe. So, want to take out that caster next. So I'm going to go ahead and go here. We're both a little bit low on health at the moment, but I needed to have that healer finished off. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Called it. So use the trap to put on some melee invulnerability in order to be able to avoid the finisher. Oh my goodness, they're both going to... Okay. This one turned out way more pro-looking than I expected. But yeah, so basically one vision is it's technically billed as a immersion mod, but it's kind of viewed as the hard mode of this game, more or less. Wherein essentially it rebounces the entire thing to be a bit more reasonable, I guess you could say, since the base game had a bunch of imbalances. But yeah, so the reason that it's a challenge, by the way, there's almost no cheese that's going to be available for that particular fight by then. So right now we're running a slight level advantage. It's not really doing too much. It's maybe reducing damage by like 20%, give or take. And then evasion-wise, we're probably getting like 15% of a bonus. Aside from that, we're pretty much on equal footing with the AI, aside from skills and like elemental augments and just other stuff that your character learns over time. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and leave that there. That should hopefully miss. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he can go ahead and take care of that caster, I think. Actually, no, we're going to go ahead and help him out with this. Probably should turn Strengthen on. Right, this guy's just going to remove our ability to counter. It's not a super big deal. Right now, there's not really anything that's going to be meleeing us anyway. It's just finishing off these last few stragglers. God dang, this fight has been ridiculous. I think, so, to give you an idea of how we even got here, how do I even put this best? Back, probably like 3 or 4 streams ago, first ran into this fight. We had finally gotten through this guy's first saving attempt. This is only the second of, well, like 4 times you gotta save him. But anyway, we saved him last time. got over to this one. This map is one of the DLC maps that's just, oh god, it's badly designed. Like, so much of this game is just beautifully made, you know, beautifully everything, quite frankly. But then, okay, you just have wide open area. You have a bunch of buildings over here that you can't even see around most of them. So yeah. So you just recently played the PS1 version. It took me the whole game to figure stuff out. I was like level 25 before it figures out could have been rezzing people. I knew that only lawful women can do that. Yeah, it's... Yeah, that I will say that one's pretty brutal. Which, by the way, if you're curious, the guy that made this mod actually made a rebalance for that one as well. It doesn't do a lot of the same things, but it's the same mentality of trying to keep things more consistent. So you may have figured out by the end of it that a lot of the end game equipment was just too heavy to be practical, and actually this one had that same problem. Which, yeah, that was one of their things going into this mod that they just ended up going and fixing. But yeah, I will say that the PS1 or the PSP version plus the One Vision mod is, oh, it is astoundingly good. And yeah, I'm going for the cards. I think even worst case scenario, Asleston has the health to survive here. So I'm just going to go ahead and see what I can do. Speed start up, because yeah, 200, he should be able to make it. I'd be pretty pissed after a run like that if he wasn't able to finish her off. But I'm pretty sure we got this, especially if she's targeting us. She should probably have 3 or 4 rounds till her finisher's up, so... Actually, we're probably going to take a short move, so we can take him a little bit better. There we go. Oh, well, there we go. Played the PS1, but never 100% finished it, since it was too hard when I was a kid. Yeah, yeah, the PS1 and SNES versions definitely definitely have some unusual difficulty spikes. Like the best way to describe that version would probably be, it's like once you figure it out, it's actually wait, this applies to both versions. Once you figure it out, it becomes super easy, and then before then, you know, it can occasionally seem outrageously punishing. Like for example, with the base game of the PSP version. A lot of the reviews when it first came out were like, "Oh my god, this is hardcore as hell, it's so difficult, oh my goodness, you can't even fathom it. You need to use all these different characters." Like, yeah, there's so much cheese that you can have your characters turned into frickin' gods by the end of Chapter 1. But yeah, there we go. And by the way, just so you know, this isn't the normal look for this guy, I'm just using a thing that changes what he looks like for the hell of it. Dress for the job you want, as they say. It's like right here, we're trying to get the Buccaneer job. This actually wasn't in the PS1 version. In One Vision, he's basically rebalanced as sort of a duelist class, which was more or less always there, just the vanilla version was kind of odd, because it was supposed to be like a pistol and sword build, but there was no reason to ever use pistols, because they sucked super hard, and yeah. So he was mostly a sword and board kind of duelist type situation, which it was really good at. It was just really kind of dull once all came down to it. So this one is... I mean, this guy can use frickin' gun blades and crap. It's pretty awesome. But mostly I want him for that evade skill that he kept using. And this is the one where sadness occurs. He's all like, "Oh man, I'm super good here. Surely nothing tragic will happen. Oh wait, random crossbow, who knew? Somebody running around sniping kids for no reason. That makes sense. Who knows why?" Like, basically, Asleston's entire side quest is just why, basically. And unlike Knight of Lotus, nobody comes in from off-screen and shanks this guy. Actually, no, wait, no, wait a minute. He just shot and died. Okay, fair enough. I forgot about that part. But, yeah, how'd he get up there? They didn't have a rogue in that last fight. Oh well. Did OV rebalance the guns? Yes. OV rebalances everything. It's so good. It's so good. It is, hands down, the best way to play this game as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, it's billed as an immersion mod, so all of it is meant to remove grind. It's meant to make everything follow the story and series as a whole as much as it can. And then it tries to be closer to the PS1 version wherever it can as well, because the PSP version originally had so much MMO crap in there, it hurt. Like, you looked at your healing items, it was like Mend Leaf +1, +2, +3, Heal Seed +1, +2, +3. Then you gotta go, like, make some Mend Seeds, take some Mend Seeds, make them into 3s, go turn them into salves, turn those salves into 2s and then 3s, and then you turn them into the good salves. It's like, God's sake! This healing item takes me half an hour to make one of them. Why are we doing it like this? So yeah, OV is hands down the way to play this game as far as I'm concerned. It rebalances absolutely everything. We haven't gotten the Buccaneer yet, by the way. That was step 2 of 4. So after this, you basically got to read about him some more because the DLC is weird like that. So there's that. Then we go over here. Then I believe we look at his thingamajig again. No. Okay. There's Ocean, who we basically left behind. Alright, and now we go into Pirate's Graveyard. Go ahead and save it again, just in case any of that triggered any scripts or whatever. Go to Quadriga, back and forth. Again, just to make sure we didn't miss anything. Because, yeah, with both... Oh, right. When you find a Blink Ring, that you can actually get at Lausanne Fortress. That's the one on the top left. There's a Cyclops with only a single drop. Unlike most of the other teleporting items, it's not in Palace of the Dead, and it's not locked behind level 30. So you can pick up that thing early. It's not as good as a flight ring, weirdly enough. Like, the ability to warp, you'd think that would be better than flying, but no, it raises your up and down vertical tolerance there by 8, and basically lets you travel through things that wouldn't otherwise block you. So, for example, Rampart Aura will still block you and stuff like that, but yeah. And there's Sir Leon! You just hear the help off in the background. Alright, let's go ahead and fail RE4 before it's even started. Yeah, turn on the city. So, yeah, like I said, a lot of things are rebalanced. Right now, I'm doing a whole lot of cheesy stuff to make this run happen, because even the creator of this mod was like, yeah, this seems impossible. So just so you know, we're running max rank whips, max rank parry at the moment. Augment Dark I have here for the Armageddon ability. Since we've got a level advantage at this point, it's gonna scale a decent chunk better. So basically, level advantage mostly just scales up things like how they would have normally scaled. When it comes to one-on-one fights, you can have a level difference of like up to 20, and it's still manageable. So unlike the PS1 version, unlike vanilla, base stats, so it's kind of explained for those that don't know. Base stats, you have 2 different sets of stats on every character. What it shows here is your effective ones when you're on the main menu there, or on your character menu. It has your base stats, so that's what's within the character themselves, and your class stats that are added on top of it. So the way that the original game did it was that it made most of the classes terrible, but slightly better at different things, and then they grew towards certain situations. When it came to OV, the way that they changed it is that base stats don't grow in the background. So, for example, like, say you train somebody as a berserker, they'd get stronger, but their resistance wouldn't really grow. Or, you know, you trained them as a knight, so their vitality would get better. And on paper, that's a cool thing. You know, everyone's building up over time, they're getting all this different stuff. But the thing was, it wasn't like they got one stat and that was it. It was usually a few points towards their preferred skills, and then just like a flat cost, or a flat addition to the rest, so that they didn't become completely broken. But ultimately what this resulted in was that if you were multi-classing people and moving them all over the place and all that, what you would get is just a situation where you had... I feel like that's probably going to be a bad move. We probably want to move here, actually. Deal with their entire back line before anything even starts. You know what? Actually, let's see. Are these dragons running Rampart? No. Okay, so in that case, this should be workable. No, that'll block that tile. Okay. If we warp here, put on a Strengthen. But yeah, anyway, so the way that this one redoes it is that yeah, your base stats, aside from picking up cards and aside from the food items that are very expensive, your base stats don't go up, and they only go up a little bit for each one that you pick up. So by and large, most characters will be running default base stats, but their classes will be able to kind of keep them where they need to be. So what this created was a situation where you don't have to go jump through a bunch of hoops to make your characters not suck. So, like, for example, a lot of folks realize that, oh wait, archers are ridiculously good because they only need one stat to be good. Not to mention their weapons got all these crazy damage bonuses that they really shouldn't have, but whatever. Whereas, for example, you take something like, let's say, a spell. Well, it would have been a Rune Fencer. They're renamed to Spellblades because it kind of fits their role a little bit better. But your Valkyries and your Rune Fencers, like they were constantly a staple throughout the series of a workable hybrid. I mean, hell, the Valkyries and Knight of Lotus were just probably the best class in the game. But yeah, in vanilla, the problem was that early on they sort of did casting okay, they sort of did fighting okay, and they had a regeneration ability that was really strong. Okay, you know, fair enough. They had barricades, which were a little bit worthless. Well, aside from cheesing the game, you could create a auto grinder using those barricades, but aside from that, you didn't. You know, it was kind of an odd class. As time went on, their ability to do almost anything faded to absolute garbage. Was the problem. Alright, we can't quite do that. We can't quite warp where we need to go. So I think what we're gonna do. Don't want to throw the Armageddon here. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get close to this wall. Is that a jump I can make? Just about. Yeah, I should be able to make that jump. So we're going to go here. We're going to give our wall, give our back facing that way. Put a shackle down. Hopefully they'll attack from there. Go ahead and put a seed up here. And there we are. We should be good to go from here. So a lot of this run has since we're more or less on equal footing, a lot of the run kind of boils down to knowing what the AI will do in certain situations and just kind of predicting things wherever possible. Like right there, I wasn't expecting that crit, so more than likely we're going to run into some problems here. I needed one of them to be disabled by that trap. But I put my back facing a particular direction, expecting to be attacked from there, expecting to have an angle to warp up to that wall, and hopefully get close to Leon there. Probably give him one, get close, trap him behind something, give him one regular hit, give him a finisher, then we're done here. I basically went over here because I believe there's one more cutscene. I know I already did Flowers of Quadriga. I think there's one more cutscene beyond that I might be forgetting. It might just be Pirate's Graveyard from here. One way or another, I can't quite do Pirate's Graveyard yet because I need more items. I've got enough healing items, but I need more, what's it? I need more, exorcism items. Alright, well, we got a crit that's sort of sorted out a problem, but not really? Getting ragdolled around like nothing here. Yeah, the RNG can be pretty mean at times. But yeah, every time that I look at the mechanics of this game, it's always funny to me that the closest thing that I see to compare it to is always XCOM 2. But, alright. I don't see the numbers to really pull this off right now, unless this misses. No, of course it hits. Why you gotta tease me like that, game? Alright. Ooh, we got Denim Shop. Alright, well, we might not need to do that one yet. Alright, let's give this a go. I mean, we rolled a pretty good fight. Let's see what happens. Actually, no, I can't do this one because I need strengthen. No, don't save it. But alright, so the nice thing is, like, I've done the vanilla version of this game solo and all that. It was actually, honestly, it started off kind of interesting, then it got really easy, then towards the end it kind of just became a slog. So with this one, I'm liking that that everything's been a lot more consistent. Also, I should probably mention that he can run a lot of different classes when it comes to this one. So we have the Buccaneer unlocked at this point, since it started gaining XP. A lot of times you need to actually see the class in action in order for it to function, so to speak. In this case, actually at this point we don't really need to even unlock Azelston now that I think about it, because it's already gained levels. So really, if we wanted to do it, we could probably just go to Palace of the Dead, get transcription, and just go ahead and make the class marks and just leave Azelston to his fate here. Not sure if I want to do that. So if we want to make gun blades, to kind of show you what I'm thinking here with all this. So, okay. So, main useful thing there that I'm getting it for is that we'd have a two-hander option. We'd be able to use the two-hander finishers, which are really good, and be able to use that with a gunblade. So it's useful to occasionally have a snipe move. We'd be able to have a really low-cost snipe move, basically. So we'd have to go to Grimsby to go get the book. I feel like we can probably do that pretty safely right now. But I don't know if that causes Azelston's thing to just automatically fail. Like I said, there's a lot of parts of Azelston's little side quest here that will gladly just screw you over for no reason. So, okay, so we're going to get rid of some swords here. Get rid of some of these. Probably get rid of just the Espadon. Because, yeah, on the low end, those are probably alright. Any spear classes that I haven't really leveled up yet? Nah, so far so good there. Again, we can replace some of this stuff later if we need to, but for the time being, I think we're probably alright with that. Alright, so let's go over here. We're gonna pick up probably 5 plumes. Should hopefully be enough. What's up, kiddo? Oh yeah? Why'd you turn it off? Why are you messing with it? I mean, if you push the button, then the thing turns off. Alright. 6 exorcisms won't be enough. Let's see what else we can afford here. Alright, that'll give us another 3. I think that should be enough. I don't remember exactly how many there are. But you can roll a crap load of different skeletons at the start. Do you need to finish the side quest first? Technically... Okay, it depends on which version you're playing. So in Vanilla, there were only 2 places you could get Buccaneer marks. Actually, technically 3. One of them was finishing up Azelston's side quest, which gave you a whopping 1 for all of this crap that he puts you through. The second part was to go through that quest and then get the chest at the end, which gave you 1 more class mark. Oh my god, don't be too generous, game! And then, if you wanted to, you could go back and you could exercise skeletons repeatedly on one of the bottom floors of this piece of crap right here, and that would maybe have like a 10% chance to drop another one. No, I don't know why they were so stingy with it. That's just kind of how it goes. As far as the Neb shop, I believe I've bought everything that I need to for the moment. Just so you know, all the shops, all the items, everything is redone. For those folks that weren't here before, everything is redone in the mod. So Deneb shop, you've got access to your summons right away. You've got all your standard heals and mini summons and multi-exorcisms and things like that if you need them. This is where you actually get Paradigm Shift. You can't get it before that. You get some of your better Dark abilities, you get your basic Draconic abilities. You could get most of them at the store, but not all of your Draconic buffs, which are double buffs now. So remember her from Ogre Battle Queen. Yep, you can get her in this one too. Just kind of got to jump through some hoops to do it, and then you got to jump through even more hoops in order to be able to get her as her actual class. Oh, hang on. Leave that alone. Hey. Leave it alone. No. That's Mama's book. We'd leave that alone. Yeah. We leave it alone, okay? Yeah. Well, thank you. Sorry, kiddo was getting into some of my wife's stuff. And so yeah, you get stuff like decoy and stuff like that. Before, if you want a decoy, you unfortunately had to go in and grind it out. Like I said, a lot of aspects of this mod, it's meant to reduce the amount of bull crap you got to go through. It's meant to be, meant to be immersive, meant to be all that kind of stuff. So you got one-handed spears and all that, which are probably one of my favorite additions. So yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff you can do. So, okay, we got all those. Sorry, I'm just trying to route this out in my head here. Because Strengthens will need every fight, but some of them will have Clerics. Clerics will dispel it right away. For those situations, ideally you want to be running a White Knight, because you can just get Strengthen up right away. One quick thing I want to check here. Yeah, we'll never really get this. I believe the Ignis is a pike anyway. So we'd probably end up going with the Volcadius if we ever, I know it's, like Volcitus or something, but I was like, calling it the Volcadius. Yeah, I don't think we'd end up using that one. So, another thing, for any folks that remember, Vanilla there, you got spears and pikes. So, like, you know all the endgame spears, and that was kind of annoying where they went from 1 to 2 tiles, that they went up to 2 to 3. They're like, okay, unless you like the cursed spear, this is just what you're dealing with now. This is your new attack style. Hope you're glad that you're, 2, maybe 3 classes that could use spears now suddenly have entirely different mechanics for no reason. Also, they can't counter anymore. Have fun with that. Which, I mean, yes, they can technically counter, but they can only counter other spears and whips. It's just... that's certainly not worth a skill slot anymore. Either way, so yeah, you basically have the option of either spears for the 1 to 2 tiles, or pikes for the 2 to 3, so you can kind of alter most of your spears that way. When it comes to the elemental stuff, there were only so many item slots, so he kind of just made it work. But either way, you at least have options, so that's nice. Now, do I want any of this stuff? Not really. Yeah, okay. So I'm just looking around what my options might be here. So we're probably still going to run Whip here. Yeah, let's do Kajiga real quick, because that one is very well doable. It just takes a little bit of trickery. But yeah, another funny example as far as just as far as everything goes here. In the original version of this, you had to recruit 5. Actually, yeah, or actually no, it was 3 of every elemental dragon. Plus, you had to go and buy the orbs that they give you at the shop in order to be able to unlock Deneb's secret class there, or to actually just get Deneb in her true form at all. So. Basically, what it boiled down to is, yeah, you had to get 3 of every dragon, including Hydras. Thing was, most of those dragons, like, sure, if you got 1, you could then go to the store, take the marks that they dropped, and then, it would essentially expand into 3 of them. But Hydras only appeared in very rare places. Like, most of them appeared only in story fights, so you couldn't necessarily go back and grind them. As far as dragons went, you just had to sit there recruiting over and over and over. But that was the thing. If you recruited all of them, all well and good. This is just to unlock her in the first place. But okay. So you just go and, you recruit all these freaking dragons, you go get your Hydras. You gotta go get all those Hydras individually, because they count as a different race entirely to other dragons. Which, I guess, fair enough, but still annoying. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is a chair, not a jungle gym, kiddo. What you doing? Eggs? You already ate your eggs. Well, I mean, the other eggies are for your brother. I can get you more Cheerios if you'd like. What do you think? You want to think that over for a sec and let me know? Want to get back to me? See if we can pencil you in for more Cheerios? No? What about an apple? Can you get you one of them? Yeah, apple sounds good. Alright, yes ma'am, little lady. Alright, let me go get this kid an apple. One moment. Okie dokie, and back. So let's continue on here. Yeah, we haven't even taken a scratch yet. That's pretty good. Ideally, we want to get these guys stuck as much as possible. Alright. Whip this one. We're going to go ahead and booby trap this one with a charm here. And you know what? I think I'm wrong. I think the leftover cards that are sitting around at the end of the map, I think you do actually get those, because I only had one charm card, and now I am up to 6. So that definitely seems to be the case there. Okay, Ultimate Smart Boy makes an amazing play right here. Let's go ahead and run straight into a trap and completely whiff your attack in the first place. Awesome! I mean, no complaints. No complaints for sure. Might be worth Armageddoning those two, actually. Just to kind of get them out of the way. Maybe we'll just save the bar. Because if nothing else, we can at least get close to Leon here. I don't think we can one-shot Armageddon him, but we can, at the very least, take out most of his entourage. Which, by the way, for those that don't know, with the whole whip thing, it's not something that's got a whole lot of practicality in the game usually, because it's just a big ol' AoE nuke move for most of the characters that would end up using this wouldn't end up being frontliners. For one thing, usually aren't necessarily huge attackers, and usually just aren't really something you'd want to keep in the front line for an extended period of time. Because its whole thing is essentially just it does a big boom and then you're stuck in place for a little bit. Yeah, if we take a one-tile move here, we might be able to wipe one healer and 2 ninjas. And that's not a bad deal. Or make that 1 ninja, actually. Alright, go for your Shadowbind. This is another one of those cases where the AI doesn't know it's being smart, but it's being really smart right now. Alright, gone. Almost gone. Just do it. Do it! There we go. Get you one-shotted. The funny part is, I was mentioning this earlier, but even if you use cheats to get 100 in every base stat, it still isn't enough to just win by itself. So there were a few folks that they kept mentioning, like, just, oh, sit and grind out cards. Like, it won't make as much of a difference as a lot of this other stuff. It'll help, sure, but it's not exactly like, it's not like vanilla. Like, you won't get to the point that everything's doing 1 damage and everything else. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And even then, to be fair, in vanilla, even, like, archers and golems would still hit you pretty good. Like, especially going through San Bronsa, like I said, I don't know why I decided to put friggin', like, all bosses on there, because, dude, San Bronsa is gonna suck real hard. I don't have any plan on how to pull that off aside from maybe whip nuking. That's all that really comes to mind. Like, if we come up with a more consistent way to heal, yeah, maybe if we get some regeneration ability or something. Maybe if we're running, like, evade plus whip nuke or something. I don't know. It might be possible with a Buccaneer, maybe. The odds are low, but technically exist. So we'll see how all that goes. Now let's go ahead and move you here. At the very least, we outspeed Leon, so that's always good. And not going to drop a trap because there's just too many spots that they could potentially go. Probably that tile across the wall. No, he would have gone for that anyway. Okay. Yeah, I would have figured he probably would have gone for the one by the wall there, but you never know. You can usually predict them somewhat, but unless you can assume that there's a backup plan, it's usually better off not wasting a trap on it. Because you can get a decent chunk per fight, depending on how many fights you're doing, but, you know, if you don't have the right trap for the right situation, it's just not going to be a good time. And I'm expecting to need to cheese a lot of them. So, as far as other options, by the way, so the rogue can do this whole trap thing, can do the whole speed thing, and can do whips. You know, that's all well and good. Later on, though, if we're looking at other options for making use of all these different abilities and everything, you can get booby traps with the Ranger, but you can't with the Buccaneer. So there might be some options there. I forget if the Ranger can use two-handers or not, but that'd be pretty strong if it could. I know that they can at least run one-handers, so Ranger might become our kind of go-to sword and board class, maybe. We'll see how it goes. All right, thank you, Delagar. Thank you for stopping by. And have yourself a good whatever you're up to today. Hope it's all nice and calm. You know, fitting for a nice happy Friday. Boy, they are... Okay, we're gonna go here, hope that they attack behind us. Because I do need to take this round to heal. I can't do much about their other healer at the moment, they're a bit too far away. But I can do a speed star. A trap could have potentially helped out, but what I want to do is, yeah, that would have been a really nice crit there. I was hoping that he was going to do a Granite Fist, miss it, then the other one goes in for another one behind it and misses. Right now, as it stands, we're probably getting blocked off, which means next turn's probably going to be turn on Warp and then go downstairs. Midnight here, just going to sleep. Oh, okay, well, happy sleepings then. Sorry to keep you up late. Good luck with their unconsciousness. Enjoy your comfort square, as you do. Yeah, I think we might have to take out that healer. One potential option that I'm seeing here. No, that actually just wiped it off. Yeah, now we're getting all the debuffs. Okay, oh, get out of here with your hitting 25%, people. That was some crap right there. It just did it. Just everything went wrong. Right, all your 25s and 40s and 28s. But oh well, it happens. And that's the thing, like Fusiliers, for all the other stuff, I will say Fusiliers are kind of amazing at keeping themselves alive in weird situations. Like, especially when it, like, for example, combining this with whatever it was last time. And we're just gonna go for this one real quick. But, like, compare this with that guy in the hell was that burnt down the city? I'm thinking Bleat, but that's Knight of Lotus. Whatever. You know what town I mean. With the freaking zombie dragons everywhere. Like, that wasn't necessarily a difficult fight on its own. It's just the fact that the guy that you're going for is running away and putting down obstacles all over the dang place. Okay, this is the bad spawn. This is the map saying screw you, basically. It's like, here you go, everything's undead here. Is it workable? Maybe. If we can get away with this with one exorcism, I'm okay with that. So, skeleton. How many of those are rogues? How many of them are casters? We got sorcerer, wizard. Okay. If we only had one exorcism to use, I would use it on one of the wizards then. Is this... Did I not do the item thing and save? Alright, I guess I didn't save. My bad. And no, I didn't. Alright, let's get that redone real quick then. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. Get rid of those real quick. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. It's funny because a lot of these lower level items are more expensive than their higher expenditure counterparts. Alright. Now, go ahead and buy a few of those strengthens. So we want 6 of them, ideally. We need to make it through about 5 fights, so if we can run 1 each, assuming we're going to run into some issues along the way. 2 salves, the rest on... Yeah, we need the rest for this. So 8 exorcisms, that should be workable. Because most of it is lizards, but there's a few spots where you can't get away without exorcisms. And for one of those, though, a few of the maps have cliffs, so you can actually just use a shield to bash them down there. It's it's what I ended up doing on the whole no store run ages ago, where I was just in many of the cases they seem to design it in such a way where undead units tend to be near cliffs. Turns out ancient bones aren't terribly fantastic at not getting crushed by gravity. All right, I think it's I think it's that Hawkman up there that can potentially drop a drop an elemental vest for us. I'm not going to go out of my way to get those. Truth be told, I don't expect to be using one of them. What I expect to be using is probably like a Mirage Cloak and probably some of the Wizard Pants once we get there. Just the usual Whip Nuke setup that I was showing off a while ago. I mean, that's subject to change, but I feel like that's probably a pretty strong option. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm not really going to go out of my way. Actually, wait a minute. Let me double-check something. The leg guard and Chariot. I was just talking about those Wizard Pants. That's actually in the next level here. And that could potentially unlock a lot of options for us. So, let's take a quick peek here. By the way, if y'all have any characters out of any of this, I mentioned this last time, but if there's any out of this that you want to see showing up in, showing up in that XCOM 2, the Long War of the Chosen run, let me know. A lot of the March of the Black Queen ones and Night of Lotus ones and everybody else are all in there right now. All right. Where's that Enchiridion guide? Oh, actually, speaking of, I was meaning to update the guide. There was somebody that dug up some useful codes the other day for any of those that were looking for them. Alright. So, there are three crafting books in this one. There's the Hammer Enchilada, which, who cares? Not going to be using hammers for this one. It just doesn't have what I need it to. Hammers are definitely useful in a bigger team context. And this one, less so. Alright, let's go ahead and booby trap this guy. Go ahead and put him to sleep. Hove, you have any data PDF, skills, weapons changes, etc.? I actually put together an entire guide for it. It's a little bit out of date at the moment because there's been a lot of updates these last few months, and I've mostly been busy with a lot of stuff, so it will be updated as soon as I can. But I think it's !guide to pull that up. Yeah, there we go. So that is the basic guide. Like I said, there's a few changes that have been made since then. And I feel like instead of whip, we should probably be going sword and board for this part. And you know, if they're scaling up anyway. Yep, sure thing. And yeah, so yeah, there's a cheat thing in there if you're curious for putting on different kinds of codes for testing stuff or just creating a specific run for yourself. There's guides for every weapon type, every finisher, every... I'm still working on the item guide. I've been working on the reference guide. The cheat guide, there's some new stuff to add. The class guide is in there. The advanced class guide is in there. The recruitment guide is in the... Rakes made something like that a while ago. There's data tables if you want to test out like how the damage system works, and bear in mind the mechanics of the game, the core stuff, it's still the same as the base game. It's just all reworked in order to be better. So, for example, like if all your heavy armor stuff and everything, this stuff, it was kind of where the game started falling apart. Like your late game elemental armors, aside from very specific situations, it was usually way too heavy to ever bother with. Like I think original worm scale was like 18, and then the elemental option was something like 24. So this weighs half that. It got ridiculous, and I don't know why they made that stuff so heavy. It's not like it was really worth the effort. I mean, you got a little bit of potential extra damage off of the elemental augment thing, But then usually you were so slow that you could get triple turned by stuff, and it was just like, this is interesting on paper, but what the hell happened here, you know? So, there were problems, but oh well. Wait a minute, what the hell? Oh, she already has... Wait a minute. Alright, yeah, right, she comes as princess. I forgot about that. Or rather, she can. Might as well change her into that, to be honest. It's not like it really makes much of a difference. But, kind of figured for the neutral trio, or not the neutral trio, but for the head trio there. Might be good to have them as their main stuff there. Now, I will point out, for anyone wondering, it's not that bows and crossbows and things like that are bad. I just figure I don't want this run to turn into sitting in the corner of the map cheesing something with a bow. So, more or less, the idea is that that bows and crossbows are just banned. Things like sidearms. So if you remember from Vanilla, you remember how thrown weapons were garbage and they had no finishers, and for some reason blowguns did. You know, because that makes sense. Basically, thrown weapons and blowguns and everything else, they're all just sidearms now. They all have finishers, and you don't need ammo for thrown weapons anymore because that mechanic was stupid. So there we go. I'm tempted to consider putting together daggers. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go sword and board for a sec. Probably put on a ward shield, and then go ahead and get on with this thing. And then actually remember to put on those skills, because that probably would be a very handy thing to have. Also, I should point out, it's not like the rogue is the best class ever or anything along those lines, but it is the one that's certainly helping me out for this part of the run. I've been running a lot of different classes. It actually started off with Terror Knights, went on to Warriors there, then Dragoons, White Knights, everything. I've been going all over the dang place. Mostly because different parts of the game require different things, and this part, up until the point I can get a lot of elemental augments going, the name of the game is Evasion, and this class is both fast and evasive, so good stuff for me. Now, I'm considering replacing that warp ring with a necklace again, but we'll see. So go ahead and pop a ginseng here. Start going all fast, zoomy-like. Get our speed star. Yeah, if there's any possibility to get down there before anything happens, that'd be fantastic. I don't think it can happen, but we'll see how it goes. The ideal is to be in that little nook right over here. Oh, and yeah, for those folks that are interested in trying out the mod, bear in mind it's in 99.45 right now, so it's almost there. It's very, very, very close to being at 100 at its full 1.0 version. But just bear in mind there are still a few little things that are going to be out there. So, for example, stuff like this. There's a few classes that'll have skills that that technically aren't in the game anymore. A lot of the skills got reworked into other things, so instead of having a bunch of passive buffs, taking up half your dang skill slots, instead you have a lot of those turned into stuff like, well, it's basically your equipment now. That's probably the best way to put it. That hoplight's going to take forever to finish off, so instead we're going to go here. And we're going to go ahead and put down a quick binding trap right here. One of them's bound to run into it. You also might notice that two-handers actually don't suck now. It's a nice change. Also, claws give poison, swords give stagger. There's just stuff going on. Everything's interesting. There's more. It's less dry. Let's just put it that way. It's nice and juicy. It's a very juicy strategy experience. Alright. Yeah, I think, Why on earth did my counter do so much damage to him? Might potentially be time to be coming in with some heavier stuff here. This is all we're doing is scratch damage. Still gonna try it. But I'm a little bit skeptical of the odds. Okay, there we go. He's down. I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up, though. Alright, we'll get rid of this one. As long as we can be rid of the casters, we can do more stuff here. Alright, get a little bit more health. And, oh, I actually misspoke last time. So, it's actually not 100 that's your maximum bonus health, it's actually 200. Or, you know, bonus on top of whatever you, on top of what you already have. We can do some stuff here, but I think speeding up and healing is the best way to go for now. That is some good coffee. Dang it. Got all scaredified. And I don't really have a good answer to that. Alright, I think our best bet is just to go over here, bad blood this guy. Get them all envenomated. Can run away and heal next round. Hopefully RNG's going a little bit better this time. Speed it up again. Okay, yeah, that's workable. Do we have any finishers incoming? No. So, alright, let's go over here. Take our nice happy heal. Now that I'm looking at the numbers, I mean, if we're making it through 4 fights, we might have enough healing items. I'm not super sure on that, though. Ooh. Ozark Spear is a 1 to 2. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I mean, I know it's a Knight of Lotus reference, but I could have sworn it was still a 2 to 3 tile spear. Or is that the Ventisca? Might be the Ventisca that's a 2 to 3. Alright, we'll throw out the sleep move next round. Get our parry. That one goes down. Yeah, we're definitely putting down the sleep move because all that dodge and true strike crap's gonna suck. I mean, it seems we still have maximum evasion even with that. At least close to it. It's just plank damage, but they've got no heals. Go speed it up again because we're going to take a hot minute doing this. Alright, let's warp out of here. Now, that guy should just finish himself off. No worries there. I need to get rid of this Warlock flying bathrobe over here. Okay, yeah, we can just do that. Get the multi-kill off. The reason I'm doing that, I was kind of worried about him going into the water and spraying me there. Alright, can I move now? It was telling me my turn's coming up immediately, and it's like, nope, it's coming, it's coming. Oh, wait, everybody's waking up, though. Fun times. Alright. Ah, dang it, we got a fancy fist. I thought that might have been the one with the Ogre spear. Stop critting! Stop hitting, come on. Okay, we need something good here. I can do Ivory Tower. Actually, wait, we don't want to use that. We'll use the Mending Seed. Alright, so we've got Ivory Tower. It'll make us immune to melee. Like anything physical whatsoever. We've got no counter, so unfortunately it doesn't have any offensive element to it. It's basically Mind's Eye, but for literally anything physical. And for those wondering, yeah, no, traps did not do this in the original at all. In fact, all they did was a crappy little debuff. Here we got a flying octopus that completely flies in the face of everything from March of the Black Queen. Okay, petrified, perfect. Hey, you know what? Might as well. Alright, I'm gonna go over here. Nice. Let's do Fire and Wither, just because I want a little bit extra damage here, because we're still very much in the realm of getting rocked like that. Yeah. Thank you, RNG. Alright, we got a similar spawn there. Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be like that, I'd really prefer to just let it spawn with all the lizards, because I don't want to waste all my exorcisms right on the very start there. Come on. Give me something that isn't 10,000 undead. Would be very nice. I mean, if they're all melee, I suppose that's fine. Archers, a little bit of a problem to deal with. Yeah, we got one cleric. Okay. Actually, you know what? Might be able to get a charm trap on that cleric. That might be the way to do this. Sorry about the music being a little bit hard to listen to at the moment. But it just makes all this stuff run so much faster. This particular theme is probably the worst offender, though. You suck. Alright, so here's how we're going to do this, if it ends up deciding to work. So we're going to exercise this guy. And then we're going to throw out a charm trap to our back. If I'm understanding this correctly, this guy should then attack from the back, but because he's got nothing to heal, he's got nothing... Well, he might go for a Dispel, but since he's got none of that going on, there's a decent chance he'll go and try to take a swing at our back. And so, you know... never mind. That just went backwards. I was going to say he takes a swing at us. Probably should have put the trap to the other side there, now that I'm looking at it. Unfortunately, I can't put it underneath the bag, I don't think. Either way, you know, they take a swing at us there. We wind up in a situation where we're just kind of handling it, as it were. So we get hit by a stick and or don't, but then we wind up in a situation where where he's just running around doing the exercising for us. Unfortunately, it did not work out that way, but oh well. It was worth a try. Just figured we might be able to mind control a priest. Although, he's actually got Mage Hunter Claws. So they're taking the MP off with every hit. Alright. Which one of you is the Archer? Which one of you is the Cleric? Alright, we'll take a swing at the Archer, since we're going to end up doing more damage. Decent chance the Cleric came in with better equipment. There's not too much we can one-shot here, so the Cleric has to go if we're to make any progress. The reason that I went for the Archer first is he's pretty slow. If they decide to go for any other options, we should be able to take a follow-up swing against that guy, since it was a really short movement, and it actually looks like we'll be able to, except we just get hit by slow, which put us... yeah, we... the guy nailed us 40% slow, so now we're... yeah, now we're way back. Alright, back to this. Nah. I really don't like this fight with a Cleric in it. Let's just leave and come back with something else. Yeah, 3 Octopi, that's more manageable. So yeah, only 2 undead there. Got a Jugger, got a Patriarch. And got an Archer. Okay, yeah. They've got no healing, and they've got a whole lot of melee enemies here. So first target is that Archer. Should be able to get our full bonus damage off it. Yeah, I wish this part was doable after you get the Brynhildr. Or, not the Brynhildr, but after you get the Lombardia. But unfortunately, no such luck, as it so happens. Turn on a Fortify, just for safety's sake. I don't expect it to be necessary. I assume we're probably taking pretty plinky damage, but I figure it's worth a try. Alright, then we're gonna go get this Archer drunk, so he's taking a bit more damage. Wait, did I never turn on Speedstar? Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I need to be going faster. There we go. Yeah, I'm glad he came in with those claws, because they're not even kind of threatening to us. The worst that he can do is Wither, and honestly, that's pretty manageable. That's probably going to be a very risky move. Alright, so we're just going to try to survive. Yeah, RNG's not swinging our way here. Okay, if we can survive, we're going to do a lot better. Get out of here with that. Okay. I mean, I suppose it makes sense. Just kind of annoying that that happened. Okay. We can go Crucibles here, go for a heavier shield, I suppose. Stun 136, almost about 137. I suppose we do have other options too. I always try to go for the lightning augment training here. Now, what did we need lightning for again? I forget which finisher was using lightning. I think it was axes that needed lightning. So if we take that lightning dagger, go stab a bunch of stuff in Tynemouth for a while. Alright. Alright. Let's get that whip back on. Turn this evasion back on. Turn this Og Dark back on. Alright. What I want to do is get a few more levels here. They won't be that big of a bonus, but I want to get a couple more so that I can go to the 4 real quick. Now we should be able to sort this out pretty basic-like. On top of that, I really want to have more items going into that general area. Can I flagellate any of you? Alright, if I throw out an Armageddon here, we might be able to finish some of them off before their healer arrives. Okay, so far so good. Going on. Okay. Now just don't steal my items. Of course you would. Alright, so far we're breaking about positive. Do this one to shackle this one. I don't know if they're coming in with Tabula Rasa yet. Good. Now, Speed Star should let us outspeed her, I hope. Because they keep throwing out finishers, and unfortunately they keep nailing hits that I really would prefer them not to be nailing. Get out of here with that. Okay, fine. We'll use one trap for this. Okay, beautiful, and then we're just going to stumble over and over. Yeah, I think we're going to put away the Warp Ring for a little bit. It's a nice toy, but it's only useful under certain circumstances. And right here, you can see how freaking debilitating stun is. Not to mention, it just ups all our stats so much. Alright, let's go to Cave of Spite. Try it again. Holy crap, what is this? It's like the game saw what I was asking for earlier and was like, yeah, but what if we gave you nothing? Bunch of casters, Hoplite, Lyric. Yeah, great. No thanks. The only reason I'm going back to this one is if I can do it, I'd prefer to be able to do so. I don't know if actually leaving this area will cause the thing to fail. Wait, what was that last one? Patriarch, okay. Alright, we'll try a different approach and just stay up here for now. The sound is kind of annoying. Oh, yeah? How's that? You think so? What are you and brother up to, huh? Yeah, you making a pile of stuff over there? Okay, interesting little tidbit that I'm probably going to have to remember to remind Rakes of, because it seems that those guys have an ability that they actually shouldn't have anymore. Aqua Veil was actually supposed to be removed. I thought it was completely removed, but apparently those guys can use it just fine. Or, actually, come to think of it, I wonder if it's maybe uniquely reserved for them or something? Still Pimp Denim, not saving Breaking Denim or Frail Denim? I don't know. We'll see. Huh. But yeah, no, we ended up finally beating that, finally ended up beating that thing, thankfully enough. But yeah, currently stuff is still ongoing. Let's get Speed Star here, let's get a heal. And I think future ones we should be able to do with a whip rather than the one-hander here. And if they could stop rolling their low numbers, as has been the running theme of everything involving Azelston here. Alright, Lodestone, which is just gonna hurt real bad. Oh, come on now. Come on! Alright, might as well just go whip, to be honest. What's that noise? I don't know. Looking into a job as a guard or something? Tacos? There's no tacos right now. Let's do Og Dark. Let's see what happens if we do this. No, let's go see what other flavors of denim we want to make this into, as long as it isn't a terrifying, freaking horrible one. I'm going to go back to Giant Dad denim for a little bit. We haven't seen that for a bit. We've got Mutton Chops denim. Let's see, Azelston Sheltron was shot. Oh yeah, sorry. My bad. We've got Escape from New York denim. Although now he's turned invisible. Alright, did we get a good map at least? It's workable. Alright, we're just gonna be invisible for a fight. Weird, it gives that weird bot. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like all things considered, it's just whips are better than the bastard swords in every possible way. Alright, we'll put down a charm trap. Double strike is not good. Double strike is awesome. Like, double strike with two-handers is pretty much a one-hit kill on just about everything. At least with this setup it is. Basically, the reason that I'm running Rogue right now is in this point of the game, there's so much crap going on that that I want to be able to be fast up until I can get some certain types of equipment. Because as it is, we're getting to the point where elemental equipment is standard, but it's not to the point where I can actually make full use of it or anything yet. Flagellation. I feel like Tidal Bore will probably do more damage in the long run here. Like the reason that I'm using the whip here, and also wait a minute. We are talking about double strike as in like the soldier ability, right? Oh god, that friggin' caster, I swear. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yes, he looks weird, I know. Yeah, alright, let's just go warrior. Why not? Just kind of show this off. In terms of double strike. Alright, we're probably going to be running Og Light. The sword itself will want to run Og Water. So TB for damage, Field Elk for healing, counter hit 3. Augment Light, double strike. Okay. What's oh no? What'd you do with this guy's backpack? Oh. You took it off? Yeah, let's put that back on there, huh? There we go. Now she can fly again. Go. You're welcome. Alright. We'll do parry. We'll do heavy armor. There's a reason that I picked up that stuff. 60 versus lizards? Apparently so. In which case, this should probably rock pretty dang hard. But yeah, 60% bonus damage versus lizards, yeah. I think this is supposed to be... I mean, to be fair, it doesn't necessarily come across that much. I mean, most of these guys are probably going to be running heavy armor, so a two-hander probably won't be getting its damage through a lot of the time. But yeah, most of the time, double strike is really good when you put it on as a counter. So, for example, like let's say, like I was showing off during the throne room fight, it's like you basically do a thing like you've got 200 TP, right? And you take one of them and you set it up to where you've got double strike on your counter. Like in this case, you can probably go. Actually, in this case, I just want to go finish off this one. No, we're not watching that one. You have your show right there. I didn't finish it off, unfortunately. I probably should have just gone for the Grand Cross there, to be honest. But yeah, two-handers just put out so much damage, it's great. The problem is, yeah, if you end up putting yourself in a position where you run out of damage to put out, yeah, you're going to be in for a bad time. Clerics tend to shut them down pretty bad. Just casters in general tend to shut them down pretty bad. For comparison's sake, though, I can do 400 with a Grand Cross, 437 with a Sonic. Don't suppose I can pull off these kinds of shenanigans, can I? No, that would have been pretty awesome. Alright. But yeah, it's a nice little saber for, like, against monster units and things like that. It's Beast Hide, neato. But yeah, Double Strike's really handy in situations also where you need to take a turn to heal, but you need to still put out a ton of damage. It's like right here, he'll take his hit. He'll still take 280, and I didn't even need to attack him. Please miss. The downside is that, yeah, we are slow as hell. See, it seems better, but here's exactly the problem. Like, as you can see, I don't have the speed to really be moving away, so what I'm relying on is hoping that they position themselves in such a way that I can continue healing. Because these guys will still keep throwing out fall strikes and staggers, which means that all of their melee stuff keeps getting through, unless it can be parried. So we're basically stuck in a mending spiral, or in a healing spiral here. Okay. Thank you, 40%. That's okay. I didn't want to accomplish anything anyway. Luckily, our armor is high enough to the point where they'll usually end up trying to use stuff like lodestone. Okay. It's one down, but I don't think we have the time to exercise it. Which is fine, because it should open up some possibilities for healing. I don't think the octopus realizes it can probably get to the water and attack. Put on one more double strike, take one more. Oh, get out of here with that crap. See, that's the problem. As soon as you get to the point where the casters start getting rid of your evasion and stuff like that, they will just keep hitting over and over and over with that garbage. It doesn't... That's the problem with double strike. Like, if you need to be completely overwhelming, it works. But in a lot of cases, you can just get yourself completely locked. We're going to try it again. Yeah, the problem is it builds up their TP like crazy. Like, he just got a finisher off of that crit. Don't be cornered. Now, being cornered is good in this run. Being cornered means that you can basically give them two good angles for them to attack you from. Being surrounded, now there's the problem. But this is generally why I end up going for stuff like Sonic Blade here. In this particular instance, I don't want to, because the basically the double strike will give us the damage of a fully scaled damage strike. Dickery. Okay. It'll give us the damage of a full attack while still allowing us to only use 100. Alright, well, there we go. That works just fine. The problem is that we're not parrying anything here. Because we have, in order to be able to justify using the two-hander like this, due to its really slow speed, we need good armor. And to have really good armor means you're not necessarily going to be as evasive, you're going to be able to parry and stuff like that. But as far as hard evasion, that's still going to hit you real good. And these are the situations where, for example, like a whip would be really good. Which I guess, technically speaking, I could be double striking a whip right now. Suppose I could grand cross this mess right here. So yeah, that kind of the trick to two-handers is just if you can finish them before they can finish you, you win. That's like, this will mitigate some of their damage. They might still get away with it just fine. I'm going to run down here, hopefully get rid of most of their melee damage, and then I should be able to do some recovery. Oh, get out of here. Alright. C4AC streamer, they're beginning of the bugs in Mission 3 and don't know about the other 4 containers. Oh no. Gonna have a bad time, okay. That's not even possibly right. Okay, there we go. We'll go vest and helmet, see if we maybe have a little bit of better luck with this. Still give us some evasion. No guarantees by any means, though. Yeah, came in with a archer, hoplite, berserker, hoplite. Okay. I believe the helmet should glance their arrows for the most part. Why don't start use Lord? So the Lord in OV is a bit different. The vanilla version was basically really gimped in terms of his elemental abilities, unless that element was light. So he could use all the light stuff, but for example, if you wanted to use dark or whatever else, it was just basically a big old middle finger. But yeah, the Lord in this one, it can use all items. It can use all of like I think 2 times as many abilities as the original could. But its stats are basically balanced across the board, which means that it won't be doing as insane damage as this one would, for example. Anyway. Can't equip any skills. No, they totally can. Probably my favorite one is actually a Lord running healing, but on dark, while running a whip and heavy armor. That just basically creates a tank that can AoE nuke like crazy. Okay. And unless you're talking about, like, evasion skills, in which case, no, those were removed. Okay. We'll try... See... Yeah, I feel like our full heavy set was doing better. The reason that I'm using this helmet, by the way, is for the parry bonus. Because the way that this math is working out, we're taking a swing, we're getting... we're probably getting like 20 to 40 actual damage past... Actually, no. Should be getting, I think, like 80 or something past their armor most of the time, unless they've got a shield. This is boosting that by 40%. This is boosting it by 5. Whenever we're using a Grand Cross, this is boosting it by another 15. Lord plus HP Infuse, it wouldn't be enough in this case. HP Infusion is, as much as it's useful, it's a pretty slow skill, and I believe they get Infuse health, but not HP Infusion, which seems like a weird distinction to make, but there's a few different skills of that flavor. Generally speaking, I'd say traps are probably the best active skill, or action skill, healing, because it can give you half your health back. But they can actually use those as well. They can also use Mind's Eye, which is arguably a lot more useful. Alright, that guy's going to use a finisher, hopefully miss. Yeah, so after this one, if this one doesn't work out, I'm going to probably throw out a whip-type setup. Give that a go. See, normally these parries are rolling a lot more often also. Okay, Double Strike is probably the best TP building move. Alright. And yeah, Yellow Octopus, Mr. Man. Mr. Man of Cow status. Okay. Nuke. So that move in particular is going to be our strongest contender for wiping out a bunch of stuff. But now that we've got 2 of them gone, if we can survive this next round, I think we've got this. Rolling parry, unfortunately got a wind shot. I don't think they're supposed to have that ability either. Due to the fact that a lot of these endgame things haven't quite been gone through yet, there's going to be some enemies that are just going to be able to do crap they shouldn't be able to do. Like that wind shot is actually a Griffin ability. Holy crap, that's a lot of undead. This OG. Oh. Octopi can be kind of weird. But no, so the thing was, when it came to late game, like, unique, like, blue and yellow enemies and all that, a lot of them were just kind of reflavorings of ones that already existed. Now, bear in mind, when it comes to this game, when it comes to the way that the mod's being made, there's a lot of instances where it isn't necessarily... It's not put together in a way that would make sense. Alright? So in the case of this mod here, they basically have to go through line by frickin' line, go and edit every single unit in the game individually. So that's thousands of units throughout the game that they gotta go line by line. So up to this point, only until both routes of Chapter 2 has it actually been fully updated. The rest are just like, well, they're running most of their vanilla stuff. Most of it is one-to-one enough that it's fine. So this part will definitely change as time goes on. But just for the sake of reference, know that that's what's going on there. If some of it seems unusual. Also, a lot of these skills here that are locked behind one thing or another, like for example, that mucus skill will always be 60 accuracy, I believe. So it isn't like scaling per level or whatever else. As far as the parries, that's the same rules as before. It's roughly 5% chance to trigger per level. I'm actually running it above the level right now, so it's 55% chance for every melee attack to miss regardless. On top of the fact that there's evasion already. Alright. This is still doable, though. So we don't necessarily need jump 1. We can get rid of that. Feel like... Yeah, I feel like Vigorous Attack's probably the way to go here. So that's True Strike plus Dodge. It used to be a guaranteed hit ability. Now it is a guaranteed don't suck ability. We can do Overguards. Get a bit more power out of it. It's not necessarily going to be that much better. Truth be told, if anything, I probably want to run Nomads. Get that 20 luck bonus. Alright. Mage hits like a truck. Dang straight he does. That's also another reason I was running Sword and Board earlier. You could do a lot of really high resistance stuff. So there's actually two different approaches for casters to take in the mod. So before, if you had high resistance, you could basically just write off casters entirely by the end of the game. In this one, Draconic actually scales with weapon power. What's up? You want straws? Well, I left some for you right there on the table, see? Go get them. Excuse me. You can go over and get them. We're not going to be lazy. Anywho. But yeah, so yeah, mages will hit like an absolute truck depending on what your build is. Most of the time, units running, like, let's say a shield or some anti-magic armor and things like that will do just fine. But then these ones are getting a really long distance to actually run all the way over here. They're getting a lot of chance to charge themselves up, and, well, generally speaking, they're going to hit real good. Good. Now, how do we grind across this mess? We can delete and almost delete. We can almost delete those two, or we can make the big smart play and just do this. Almost dead, dead. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Perry. If we re-grand cross... Pick up his lover's card. Somehow he gained more loyalty to himself. Guess he was feeling a little bit unconfident. So yeah, they get a ton of turns to actually get close here. Get off my butt. Yeah, Magmar before. That's what it is. Alright, so if we want to basically go and counter that, we can always go Damask, we can always go Crucible Ward, we can always go Crucible Greaves, and then, let's say, a Silver Lorica here. Actually, we can probably... Yeah, we can leave Wormscale on there. So yeah, we can go full, like, anti-magic tank here. So, Getting really good damage threshold, so 48, 22, so 70, 84. So most things, like for example, if I was hit by this thing, it would be about 20 damage that gets through, and then that's basically scaled up with whatever bonuses they get. So it's gonna be all right. Mighty Strike we don't want. By the way, fun little thing that not a lot of folks realize. Stuff like Mighty Strike, Terrifying Impact, all those, anything that gives you 100% anything also gives you 100% of the secondary effect, of which there are a lot in this game. So for example, if you have Mighty Impact and you have something like, let's say, a dagger, it'll always inflict bind. Alright, so... Knockback... You know, actually, I might as well pick up Knockback. Or Bash, in this case. I have the points for it, and while I'm in this class, I might as well get it. We'll need it later on. Because that is how we're going to beat the last boss. But for the time being, we're still dealing with shenanigans. So many shenanigans. Doing basically no damage. So this one will probably be a test run. You can see regular Spark Sphere is doing 1 damage here. As long as they don't have a healer, we can basically just poison everything to death. But first order of business should probably be Vigorous Attack. Go ahead and drop a heal. And then from there we just throw Bad Blood on the big guys. Slowly chip away at these ones, and thus is the life of a tank. That's fine. Alright. Oh, son of a dick, that's why we're doing no damage. I forgot to actually equip his skills. Which I suppose is pretty fitting, given the sprite here. You know, maybe that was the joke. Since he's the only other player character, is there any lifesteal weapons? No. That mechanic doesn't work in this game. There's weapons that can give you drain health that you can activate, but yeah, it's not a thing that exists in this. Mechanically, the game doesn't know how to handle it. There we go. That's much better. Doing 70s instead of 50s. But yeah, since Lens is the only other player character from the series in this game, makes me wonder if maybe that was intentionally the reference, like somebody was going around swapping weapons everywhere, and they're like, oh man, I keep accidentally forgetting to put the right skill on. And they're like, oh man, this would be a great way for us to have a little bit of a character moment with Lance here. Let's just create a situation where he just comes in with the wrong skill 100% of the time, and then it'll be all scary-like because he's coming in with rank 6 in like chapter friggin' 3, and everyone will be all intimidated, but then it turns out that, yeah, he's just garbage. Alright. But yeah, if you're worried about, like, oh man, it's looking pretty rough or whatever, it's not. It's really not. This is definitely not as rough as the saving Diebold fight. That mess was ridiculous. Like, imagine basically having no healing, having to take on about, what was it, like 15 units at once. And basically you gotta roll 50%, something like 80 times in a row. That mess got rough. But yeah, the nice thing about maps like this, where you can just repeatedly You can't just repeatedly do stuff like Bad Blood and whatever. If you're able to tank their hits like we're doing now, as you can see, most of their casting abilities are kind of plinking off at this point. If we go a full ward set, like the very best thing is if you get a Mirage Cloak, because that thing's got ridiculously high resistance. It can get you to the point that basic casts, you become nigh immune to that, and then when it comes to the Draconic stuff, that'll still get through just fine, but you can at least mitigate that somewhat by the fact that its range is pretty iffy. But on maps like this where they don't have any healing, you can just create a situation for yourself where you're either plinking away, or you can just throw poison on something and just kind of laugh because they can't do anything now. So you can slowly kite and, you know, take him down and everything. This fight is kind of the gatekeeper fight, as it were. Because once you get past here, stuff gets a little easier. That's got a little bit of an asterisk to it, though. Well, we'll get to that when we'll get to it. For now, we'll throw in Venom on that guy, eventually exercise him. This is mostly going to be where a big part of our resource drain comes in. So we're going to give this a few more attempts, and then if we don't end up getting it, then we'll just come back to it later. Because I have to go to work pretty soon here. And in either version, if you're hit by Petrify, you're basically just dead. It's not like the game ends, it's just, it really might as well, because from there on they just keep smacking you till you go down. Even in the ridiculously OP version of the character from the vanilla game. It's like there was a case that I was going around one-shotting absolutely everything on the map, and then just get hit by Petrify, and it's just, like, friggin' killed by 25s and 1s. Alright, I'm gonna try something a little different here. Spawned 4 octopi and only 2 casters this time. That might be perfect. Worst case scenario, by the way, if we run out of exorcisms, we can always just go back to the White Knight. And I'm actually kind of tempted to, now that I think about it. As one-handed spear, free exorcisms, I mean, we're running a tank setup anyway. Wouldn't be too bad. I mean, everything's already scaled up, so it's not like it matters in that regard. Perfect. Alright, come on, join the mosh pit. Join the mosh pit and give me a good Armageddon. Perfect. Alright. Strengthened and beefed up Armageddon. Cleric gone. 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 Damaged. Damaged. Can't really move, but, you know, whatever. Another one down. Gonna wait around to exercise one of the ghosts. Yeah, I really don't think they're supposed to have access to one-shot. I mean, it seems pretty busted. Rude. Yeah, the fact that he got that hit through might be the thing that ends this right now, because he's going to go land that. Come on, give me a turn. Oh, crap. Yeah, always gotta land that 50% crit. God, I hate that. But yeah, that build will do it. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright, put Reflect Magic on there. Give it one more turn because I think that's the way to do it. Now, what we want is the whip book. Let's go see where that is real quick. Yeah, we gotta go back to Farampa for the whip. So we're gonna have to find some way to get through that. Yeah. The issue with Farampa is just, yeah, just having the resources to get through it all. Which is why I think we're gonna have to unlock Lord before going through that in order to get the Grimalkin, ideally. Right. Expecting to have an Armageddon set up. So let's go ahead and go here, drop a breach on this guy. Which should mean that when the time comes, this should one-shot him. So, by the way, totally a random note here. But yeah, it seems like almost every time I end up talking about Outer Worlds, right? So recently, as in last night, ended up going and finally finishing that for the first time. And man, you can feel when you can really feel when their budget started to get low there. Like, I'm assuming it was pretty close to the end there, because it's so well polished and everything else, and then you get to kind of the last few bits there, and it just feels almost like a beta. It's bizarre. And right, I needed a different skill on there. Hold on. Okay, Ogdark good, Reflect good, Double Strike don't need it. What did I have on there last time? We can probably put Augment Air. Reduce some of those wind abilities by about 10%. There's not really much else that's going to be giving us much good here. Suppose we can always go for these lizards first. The ghosts will just be able to warm up here, though I don't think they're going to want to. We can take down the stairs on the back, so we'll keep the octopi from actually engaging us for a while. Like I said, we could always just go back to spears for a little bit, because that's our other really good option here. Alright, got a cleric. Gotta force that cleric to get close somehow, because we're never going to be able to finish this off otherwise. Alright, and we can just go ahead and wrap it up right there. Ah! Frickin' axe skeleton! Skeletor! Alright. Doesn't look like they got any clerics, though. And away we go, away we go. You are a dick, Mr. Lizard. Yeah, Patriarchs are kind of annoying. Just like the ghosts, they'll run around debuffing you constantly. It doesn't seem like Stagger Misstep would be much. It's much. Just gotta wreck this guy real good. This basically means you're far more likely to get hit by everything, and far more likely to miss. Wait, did I forget to re-up that? Yeah, there we go. For some reason I thought they were both running sequentially, which doesn't make any sense. Or concurrently, rather. Rude. Let me move, you frickin' bathrobes! Alright. Finish off this annoying guy. Turn around so we stop eating every hit in existence. Oh wait, it's 25%. Might as well switch that to 100 anyway. Right. So there's the Draconics. So the Draconics basically, like I said, function as physical rather than magical stuff. So they'll gladly get through regardless. And kind of the way that this build's working right now, it's reasonably fast due to the fact that the weapon weighs practically nothing. But then we're still running very heavy armor here. So Worm Scale for the purposes of the 50 extra health, which is helping a decent chunk. 13 Vit, which is making a lot of those attacks plink off a bit more than they should. Basically, Vit scales down whatever damage is incoming. Resistance is just like a flat magic armor kind of situation, as well as also partially scaling it down. And then higher damage threshold means that a lot of things are going to be plinking off too, which is why a lot of the tier 1 casting abilities are bouncing off, but the 2s to 4s aren't. If we can just find a way to get to those dang ghosts. Yeah, I'm very tempted to just go White Knight and go for the spear and shield build. Let's go full heavy guardsman. What the hell's that crap? Alright, so much for getting that vigorous up early. Right here, I'm just trying to spread around False Strike. False Strike, and we got hit with a slow because, of course, we did. Oh yeah, but anyway, so what's going on about Outer Worlds there? I gotta say, I was yammering on last time over like how it seemed weird that there was that they had so many speech skills in there, and it somehow managed to make them all overpowered at the same time. And also, apparently, I forgot to equip my weapon skill. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and bail then. But yeah, only ever partially invested into one of them. Mostly, I don't even know how the skills wound up how they did, because mostly was investing into stuff like dodge and whatever else, which just kind of looks hilarious. It's just basically your ability to more or less blink out of the way of stuff. But yeah, so I was mostly investing into that and like heavy melee weapons and things like that, and then because, you know, spears. But yeah, the game was like, no, but you invested into speech a couple times. Guess what? All 3 of your speech kills are above 100. Again, I'm not really sure how there were so many background buffs going on that somehow they could literally talk their way out of anything. To the point where, I kid you not, while a pacifist route is usually fun and a thing, it was bizarre to get to the end and just have a skill check for everything, even when there's skills I've literally never touched once. When you get to the last boss and there's an engineering check, and it's like, okay, I've never once put a point into engineering, but apparently it's enough for the last boss. But yeah, I don't know why it was so freakishly forgiving. It just, I don't know, it felt off. Like it needed a little bit more testing or something. But what's funny to me is the hardest skill check in the entire freaking thing was when you basically get a guy that's he's been doing a bunch of nefarious crap over and over, and you get to the point where he's like, okay, fine, you know, I'll friggin' work for you then, since this isn't working out so great. And yeah, there's just a skill check of like, did you max out all of your inspiration and determination and all your abilities to affect your companions? No, well, one of them's gonna leave. But why? So you can even read the little skill check thing, and it basically just says like, look, this dude's becoming a traitor. Just trust me on this. And instead, despite doing all their loyalty stuff and whatever else, they're like, no, 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 he's a bad guy that I've met exactly once. I'm a run and just not be here and friggin' fight you if you let this guy live. And I was like, what the hell? I don't know. It's really bizarre. But no. So the weirdest part of it, right? So I have this character that's all sneaky and talky and whatever else. He's like running around with his friggin' laser spear and gets to the very end, and you're just supposed to go through this big jailbreak sequence and whatever else, but had convinced a guy to more or less give up his uniform on the way in, so just had a disguise for it, so I could just run through the entire facility with no issues whatsoever. And all throughout the background, there's supposed to be this moment where, like, all the factions that you helped out over the course of the game all come in, and, you know, they're all just coming in. It's supposed to be the Hoover Dam. If you played New Vegas, it's supposed to be the Hoover Dam. Like, every time that you exit another door, there's more of the, you know, more factions that you saved that are coming in. They're like, oh, they need our help, whatever else, and it's supposed to be this cool moment, which works a lot better when there's an actual announced fight going on. There wasn't that at all. Actually, I have zero clue what the hell any of them were doing there to begin with. Like I said, it just felt jank. Because, okay, so yeah, there's 3 of the armies there that showed up and decided to go attack this prison. There was no announcement to them. They didn't know to be there. They were all doing their own thing before then. Like, the only mention of them being there whatsoever is some guy over the radio who's like, wait, you know, who are those people? Well, I guess they're from that one place. Oh, whatever, don't worry about it. And that's it. Meanwhile, you get there, and yeah, it's just like a full-blown war of a bunch of people that had no clue you would be there, even. Nor were they asked for help, nor was any of that going... I don't understand it at all. So, don't know if anyone here is... Sorry about that. They're getting a little dry from rambling. Don't know if anyone here, by any chance, has played it before. If anyone can maybe explain what in the crap that was all about. Because it feels like it was supposed to be a cool moment, and I guess I completely missed it or something. Because I was just confused as hell. It's like, here I am just sauntering through the entire place. You know, nobody's even trying to fight. Anyone that comes up for a quick discussion, you can just basically talk your way into getting your disguise renewed. So, you know, literally no challenge whatsoever. And yeah, just sauntering on through. Not the slightest problem. And they're just going in and attacking the place for seemingly no reason. Then you just run into the, like, one of the heads of their entire organization who's just hanging out in a room for no reason. And then you run into the boss lady who has a giant mech for no reason. It feels like that can kind of sum up a lot of the end of it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a fantastic game. I just don't understand what they were thinking. Like, maybe I missed something. The whole premise is, I mean, for that route anyway, you're helping out a dude, and then he gets kidnapped, and so you're going to save them, but then that happened like 5 minutes ago, so why would 3 different planets know to show up and help? I don't know. It's super bizarre. I was just kind of sitting there in awe at what exactly I was witnessing. Because, like, you know, this is, for all intents and purposes, Outer Worlds is kind of like the boiling down of the stuff that most folks liked from New Vegas in a really competent way. Like, there's a bunch of... The early game is ridiculously strong. There's a bunch of really cool stuff that they added. It's just that ending that feels super weird. So, if anyone happens to know, I would greatly appreciate it. Because I had to confuse. Yeah, it feels like one-handed spear is the way to do this. I mean, I said the same thing about the other one, but putting out more damage than they can actually heal. It's very resource-intensive, though. Also tends to work a little bit better when they actually don't nail all their low percentage hits. Okay. Heavy shield time. Heavy shield, maybe even spike shield. Alright, spike shield. Worm scale. Let's try this. Let's try the Kirk here. Possibly even fist weapons without the skill for them might work. Just poison everything and sit. Charybdis. Boo! Get out of here with that petrify. Really? You're gonna stagger, fall strike a frickin' statue, yeah? Kinda just feels like you're more or less trying to look like you're trying at that point. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we might want to come back with just a fist weapon. Because it's pretty rare for that cleric to show up. It's kind of counter poison everything, you know? And this is definitely one of those points where verticality on the map seems like it'd be a fun idea. See, okay, San Bronsa, I feel, does a really good job of making the vertical maps fun. Like, it's got a lot of really unique takes, it's got a lot of cool segments where it's almost like platforming going on. There's a lot of, let's just say the uses of verticality are a lot more interesting, and you can definitely make out a lot more. Pirate's Graveyard, everything to do with the Azulson DLC, I feel like they friggin' pawned off to the B team or something, where they were trying to make it look nice, but they didn't exactly understand why you wanted to do certain things a certain way. Alright, I gotta save this for that guy. So for the time being, we're just gonna take a heal, and hope that they move. Yeah, that shield's not worth it. We're gonna go for a heavy shield after this, I think. This is why when the subject of reflecting damage comes up as being a skill that's broken or something, it's kind of funny to me. Because it's kind of worthless, all things considered. Just figured I'd go ahead and give it a try, but it really wasn't worth it. Alright, we still can't move. Douchebag. Stop hitting your low percents, please! I would certainly like a turn. Parry. No parry. I almost gotta get going, though. Alright. Let's go heavy shield this time. Get even more health. Maximum healthy boy status. So yeah, heavy shield, honestly, I would say it's about... I would say it's about as useful as the ward shield there. Like in terms of your overall defensive performance. Also, we got Cleric again, didn't we? Sure did. You know, potentially another idea here. We do have a classic, and I think they can use blowguns. That might seem like a really weird thing to bring up, but I got a Charm Dart. There we go, we got a shot on the Priest if we get a turn. Yeah, we do. And yeah, we've got a finisher built up. Even if it doesn't necessarily finish him off, Ruination will silence. Will be enough to put him away for a little while. Can't really move though. Can sort of get that guy. Can sort of get those two. Can sort of just do a Mending Seed instead. Maybe double impact isn't a terrible idea with this build. It would build up TP a hell of a lot faster. Really, that's kind of the main weakness of the spear. It's just building up TPs, or the one-handed spear anyway. Building up TP is pretty slow. Get out of here. Yeah, these yellow ones just suck. Which, by the way, San Bronsa is just filled with stuff like that. The final fight of San Bronsa is basically, I think it's like 28? 28 units with a layout that's more or less maybe a dozen Angel Knights, several of the fancy Griffin variants, I believe a couple Octopi, some Lizards, like, stuff's ridiculous. Nerf max TP? No. Nope, max TP is still baller as hell. That's how I'm able to do so much damage. Just taking a quick look here, what else I could do. So I could go one-handers. Is there any real reason not to? Could go bind daggers, maybe. Oh, you know what? Actually, 1 HKs, but I don't have any better ones. Okay, you know what? Let's correct that. Need to sell some stuff. Get those 1 HKs made. Alright. What do we need in order to make them? 5,800. Okay. Sure, we have some we can sell for that. Okay, 5,800 though. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay, just enough to get one. We don't have a damage scaling move for this, but what we do have is the ability to remove a lot of TP. As well as a luck bonus, so let's try that. Any cleric spawn this time? Yes, it did, unfortunately. Did I remember to put those skills on? Yes, I did. Okay, finisher-wise, just for the sake of showing this off, We got AoE Shackle, we got a double hit, we got a TP reset, and we got a sleep move for 4 tiles. So lots of disabling moves. But yeah, that's not our main focus here. Yeah, I would argue, if anything, OV probably strengthened max TP here. Because yeah, with TP3, you're already absolutely wrecking things. Like I said, with a whip, you can probably do... Well, let's see. The highest I've seen was about 500 per tile. We're going at about an 8-tile area. Actually, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, actually a 10-tile area. So it should be a approximate maximum of about 5,000 damage. You can do about 1,200, give or take. Or actually, no, with a two-hander, you can probably do closer to 2,500 in a more confined area. It all just depends entirely on what you need to do. Like I said, in the normal course of the game, more than likely you'd have like a whip on a warlock or something like that. So it's there as a, okay, they're surrounded, they need to do an awesome thing, like here's this crazy Eldritch Abomination move, and yeah, it looks really cool, and it does its job really well, and all that. You know what? I'm thinking more and more, maybe there's really no reason to go about it this way. Because we've already unlocked the Buccaneer. We already have it as an option in the list, meaning that technically speaking, Palace of the Dead is the way to go. I don't need Buccaneer for Palace of the Dead. At least not as it stands right now. I think the main reason I was going for it is because it would have made it a little bit easier to deal with later. Yeah, this one's probably a wash because I'm already completely locked down. Alright, but anyway, so I think we can probably leave this for next time. I'll probably contemplate it a little bit more as to whether or not Azelston's boss counts for the all bosses thing. It's not the hardest boss. Like, as you've seen and as we've gone through this, it's not like this part's really impossible or anything. Everything to do with Azelston's thing is just tedious. That's been the running theme so far. I'll give it one last go for good measure, but eh. What are our augments here? Yeah, that's fine. It's more so just keep going until you get a good map, and hopefully don't spawn a cleric. And as soon as there's no clerics and I have a tank build, there we go. That's it. But now what's worrying me is that since we left this area, does that mean that the quest line for it has just automatically failed? I don't know. It very well might be. Might be that all this effort is for nothing. We won't know until 3 maps in, because again, that's just the way they did it. Yeah. You might be able to tell I'm not a really big fan of Azelston's side quest. It's kind of stupid. Yeah, Swallowtail this guy, get wrecked. Swallowtail is probably the strongest move in the 1HK's repertoire here. It's lightweight, the luck bonus is really good, meaning that despite the fact that the secondary version gives you a parry bonus, more than likely, you're going to be doing better avoiding stuff using this version. And since I have no healer, all we gotta do is sit here and survive. No big whoop. Mending Relief. No need to do any fancy finishers just yet. Especially if that guy's just going to keep throwing rocks. And so if you take a little corner like this, all you gotta do is fight a couple of them at a time. Thank you for that 100% shackle. Greatly appreciate that. Gonna throw out his anchor. Alright, sucks that a 25% is the reason that we died there, but, you know, such is life. Anyway, so you can see where I'm going with this. I mean, we just basically keep doing that until eventually the numbers stop rolling 25% over and over. And then, yeah, then we move on to the next one. The one after that's a lot easier. It's just a bunch of lizards and whatnot in an open area. The one after that is a bunch of basic lizards plus Azulston, plus we'll get a level advantage. Then there's another random one with just a crap load of lizards. And then after that, we go to fight yet another Azulston one, where it's basically him plus a bunch of skeletons. Which for that one, we just use the warp ring. Probably just use the two-hander and go naked and just warp straight to the boss and one-shot him. It's really just this beginning part that's annoying. For those wondering, for comparison, by the way. So the Western swords are a little bit heavier. Only slightly. It's a one-weight difference. A lot of the mod is... it basically tries to go for more or less real-world equivalents, give or take. Which between katanas and swords and whatnot, it's... yeah. It's really not that big of a thing. It's funny because there's so many stereotypes and whatever else that are just so all over the place. It's not even funny. There's a few things we could do to make it a little bit easier, maybe. And to kind of give an idea, the main reason that I'm doing this is so that I can get access to the Buccaneer early and level it up just in case I need access to that evade skill before Palace of the Dead. Because if I get halfway through and then suddenly realize that evade would really help out in an area, I'm just going to leave and go back and do it after the law route, because we're going to have to go through there at some point. In this timeline, though, I still want to go do all the fortresses. We might just go ahead and skip that, because I believe if I don't do any of these, then we should be okay to still do Pirate's Graveyard. In fact, actually, that's probably the smarter choice, because then we go and we do all these, so probably Grimsby next. Just go get the book to actually make Gunblades in the first place. So we get those. We go to the elemental things, we clear out all the fortresses, then we do Apocrypha, then we get the crafting books from each of those, which will give access to the elemental chokers, which will give access to an even better whip nuke, in which we can start doing like 800 per tile, give or take. At which point we can start... so, kind of the build that I want to go for, ideally, is, like I said, the Lord Whip thing. So basically, heavy armor, the black mage pants, which have a stop ward on them, dark choker, plus the Gremlkin. So that's... I think that gives the full 12 for Og Dark. Potentially up to a full 12 with Og Dark, then we level up that. Then we just become stupidly overpowered, basically. Anyway, at least against basic things. Defense is going to suck for that build, but evasion's going to be pretty okay. So we'll see. We'll see what goes next time. But either way, I gotta get to work. So thank you guys for stopping by. Have a good one. And yeah, I'll see you next time. We actually made some decent progress this time. Take care.